Shot number 5, the dominoes continue to fall. As day 7 of the government shutdown comes to a close, more government-funded programs continue to suffer, including right here in North Texas. Our local food banks rely on supplies from the government to stock its pantries, and the North Texas Food Bank helps send food to dozens of organizations in our area. So if the food bank doesn't get the food they need, the organizations will suffer as well.
So if the USDA is shut down because of the government shutdown, then the North Texas Food Bank won't get any food, and then there won't be any food for us. But we still reassure everybody that we'll feed them somehow. Right. 40,000 meals last year. It's a lot. It's a lot of food.
Thank you for calling Brighter Tomorrows. How can I help you? We are a domestic and sexual violence shelter. What we do is we provide services for women and children. Coming into shelter, we provide individual meals for your family and yourself.
In the past year, Brighter Tomorrows has sheltered 501 women and 598 children. So they can stay in our shelter one night, or they might be there for 2 or 3 months, just depending on what their situation is. The food that we get, we purchase food in bulk from the North Texas Food Bank, whom we love, 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 because we can buy in bulk, and of course the pricing is less expensive. Potatoes, beans, ground meat, turkey breast, all of that we get from the food bank that we'll have to go and buy.
How much is this guy's going to cost?
You know, it's hard to even say. It's just hard to say. Thousands of pounds of food that we get from the food bank. What are we going to tell these women and children here in the shelter? I'm sorry, we're not having dinner tonight. I don't think the government, unfortunately, understands that these are women and children who are some of our most downtrodden, and they don't have access to food and to clothing and to shelter. So I just, surely we can find some way to come to an agreement.
As we mentioned, today is day 7 of the government shutdown, and it doesn't look like it will end anytime soon. According to the IHS Global Insight, the cost of the shutdown is now around $2 billion and counting. Estimates show this is costing $12.5 million an hour. This is not the first time the government is shut down. The first one happened in November of 1981. That lasted just half a day. The longest government shutdown took place in December 1995. It lasted for 21 days. This current shutdown is the second longest one in history. Shot number 4, back in session for the Supreme Court. It went back to work today. You may remember in its last term, which ended in June, the court handed down 2 victories for gay marriage. And just like its last term, there are several hot-button issues on the agenda. The High Court will take on cases over the right place for prayer in government, affirmative action, how much power a state should have over limiting access to abortions, campaign funding, and a whole lot more. Other important appeals that may be added are over issues like gun control, abortion, mobile phone privacy, and the Affordable Health Care Act. Shot number 3, the Davis governor campaign is in full swing.
I suppose that's why, to me, Texas has always been a place of tremendous optimism and endless opportunity.
That's State Senator Wendy Davis's first web ad. The 4.5-minute spot is titled A Texas Story and aims to give voters a better understanding of who the Democrat is. It features her daughter, Amber, speaking of her mother's rise from single mom to Harvard Law School student to elected official. The ad also focuses on veterans, education, and business. Wendy Davis announced her candidacy last week. Republican Attorney General Greg Abbott is also running for Texas governor. Shot number 2, your winter wonderland dreams are melting fast, at Clyde Warren Park at least. Plans for an ice skating rink have been put on hold. Park officials had hoped to open a synthetic ice rink sometime next month. No definitive answers were given as to why those plans are delayed, only that officials need to look at a lot of factors to make sure that an ice rink is the right fit for Clyde Warren Park. But not all hope is lost for an outdoor ice skating rink in North Texas. We told you last week the Trinity River Vision Authority approved a plan to build one in downtown Fort Worth. It's expected to be open just in time for the holidays next month. Shot number one, bye-bye pink, and we're not talking about the singer. The National Football League says after tonight's New York Jets versus Atlanta Falcons game, it will no longer use a pink penalty flag. The reason why? The players' pink gear, especially those gloves and towels, well, the flags caused confusion to the broadcasters, players, coaches, and fans. The pink flags were a part of the NFL's A Crucial Catch. That's a campaign to raise breast cancer awareness. The league says other elements of the campaign, like pink equipment, coins, and goal pass padding, will remain. Your bonus shot.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas everywhere you go. Take a look.
Oh, yes, tomorrow, the infamous Neiman Marcus Christmas book will be unveiled in Dallas for all the world to see. This will be the 87th edition of the book. It features a selection of fantasy gifts and experiences. Now, although it's unknown what's in this year's book, here's some examples of last year's items, like this. It's the Pinnell & Pinnell Arcade PS trunk, valued at a measly $90,000. Or why don't you try this propelled jetpack, the JetLev R200? This would have cost you a little under $100,000. And we've got something for the car enthusiast. You could have purchased the 2013 Neiman Marcus edition McLaren 12C Spider. This puppy cost a whopping $354,000. It's quite a beauty. So the book always features very extravagant gifts, but there are always gifts for the normal person's price range as well. The arrival of the Christmas book is considered by many to mark the official start of the holiday shopping season.
Imagine sitting at home one night, minding your own business, when a pair of masked men bust in and take your husband at gunpoint.
What do you do? What do you do?
You call police and frantically wait for any word. That's exactly what happened to a woman in Hidalgo County who was terrified after her husband, 34-year-old Rogelio Andaverde, was abducted late one night. Authorities quickly launched a manhunt, but called it off after a few hours when there were no leads. 2 days later, investigators learned that Andaverde showed up at home, telling his wife that his captors just let him go.
No, there's no way that's correct.
Yep, Andaverde admitted he set the whole thing up just so he could get away from home and party with his friends.
That is a terrible thing to do.
Yeah, because now he's in jail, facing charges of filing a false report, which is probably nothing compared to what's waiting for him when he gets home.
Wow, the extremes some people go to party. So be it. Meanwhile, while Congress argues about budgets, the Federal Reserve will begin circulating the new $100 bill. But it's more than just a pretty face, what it features next. And the case unfolds in the attack of an SUV driver by a group of bikers in New York. Nightcap is just getting started, so stick around.